The chandelier sparkled over the dining room of the Grand Plaza Hotel, where my family gathered to celebrate my father's 60th birthday. Amanda, my older sister, was orchestrating everything with her usual flair for dramatic exclusion. "Oh, Emma," she said, noticing me arrive. "We're a bit tight on space at the main table. Would you mind sitting in the kitchen? You know, since you're not really involved in the business anyway." I smoothed down my understated Armani dress, worth more than her entire wardrobe, though she'd never know it, and maintained my composure. If only they knew that not really involved in business meant I was the CEO of Phoenix Ventures, one of the most successful private equity firms in the country. "Of course, Amanda. Whatever makes things easier." She smirked, adjusting her flashy designer knockoff. "Dad's biggest investor is coming tonight. Mr. Chin from Global Investments. This could be $100 million deal for Stewart Technologies." I bit back a smile. There was no Mr. Chin from Global Investments. There was only Phoenix Ventures, my company, operating through a series of shell corporations. And tonight's big investor would be me, though not as Emma Stewart, the daughter they'd dismissed for years. "That sounds wonderful," I replied mildly. "I'm sure Dad will be thrilled." "Try not to embarrass us if you run into any of the important guests," Amanda added. "Just stay in the kitchen with the staff. It's better that way." I made my way to the kitchen, thinking about the documents in my briefcase. Stewart Technologies was bleeding money, though my family didn't know it yet. They needed this investment desperately, an investment that would come with very specific terms. "Miss," a kitchen worker approached me apologetically. "There's a small table set up by the service entrance." I sat down, pulling out my phone, a deliberately modest model that concealed its military-grade security features. Messages from my executive team were flowing in. All set for tonight's reveal. Stewart Technologies financials confirmed, they're worse than we thought. Legal team standing by with the contracts. The kitchen door swung open and my father's voice boomed through. "Where's that useless daughter of mine? Emma, at least make yourself useful and help the staff with water service." I thought about my real office, the penthouse suite of Phoenix Tower, where I controlled billions in investments and had the power to make or break companies like Stewart Technologies with a single signature. "I'm here, Dad," I called out, watching him stride in with his current trophy wife, Vanessa. "Ah, good. Listen, important people are coming tonight. Real business people." He emphasized the word real with familiar disappointment. "Just try not to interact with them. We don't need them knowing about our families' disappointments." Vanessa adjusted her diamonds, cubic zirconia, I noted with amusement. "Your father's right, dear. Some people just aren't cut out for the business world. There's no shame in knowing your limitations." If they only knew that while they were playing at being business elite, I had built an empire that could buy and sell Stewart Technologies 10 times over. My phone buzzed, a message from my assistant. "Car is ready for your transformation, Miss Stewart. Mr. Chen's credentials are prepared." "I should go freshen up," I said, standing. "Big night and all." "Just use the service bathroom," Amanda called from the dining room. "The main ones are for actual guests." I slipped out through the service entrance, where my driver waited with a garment bag containing my other identity for the evening, an impeccably tailored Tom Ford suit that cost more than my father's monthly salary. In the private room I'd reserved upstairs, I transformed from Emma Stewart, the family disappointment, into Ichin, the mysterious investor they'd been desperately courting for months. My team had crafted the persona perfectly, right down to the slight accent and the carefully curated background that had passed my father's amateur vetting. As I adjusted my suit and checked the contracts in my briefcase one final time, I thought about all the family dinners where they'd mocked my career choices. All the times they'd called me a failure because I refused to work for Stewart Technologies. All the years of being the family embarrassment. Tonight everything would change. In less than an hour, they would learn that their company's survival depended entirely on the daughter they'd banished to the kitchen. My phone buzzed again. "Amanda, predictably, where are you? At least try to be useful and help the staff with coffee service before Mr. Chin arrives." I smiled, thinking of the look that would cross her face when she realized who Mr. Chin really was. Success, after all, is sweetest when served with a side of justice. At precisely 8 p.m. I made my entrance as Mr. Chin. The maitre d' announced my arrival with appropriate fanfare. "Mr. E. Chin of Global Investments." The transformation was perfect, from my precisely styled hair to my handcrafted Oxford shoes. Even Amanda, who prided herself on spotting designer wear, would never connect this powerful executive to her useless sister in the kitchen. My father rushed forward, hand extended. "Mr. Chin, we're honored to have you join us on this special evening." "The honor is mine, Mr. Stewart," I replied in the carefully practiced accent my voice coach had perfected. "Happy birthday." Amanda hovered nearby, practically salivating at the prospect of networking with a billionaire investor. "Mr. Chin, I'm Amanda Stewart, Vice President of Operations. I've been overseeing the deal preparations." I gave her the same dismissive nod she'd given me countless times. "Ah yes, the preliminary paperwork. Quite basic as I recall." Her smile faltered slightly. Behind her, I could see Vanessa frantically directing staff to rearrange seating, ensuring Mr. Chin had the best position at the main table, the same table I'd been deemed unworthy to join. "Where is your other daughter?" I asked innocently, watching my father's face tighten. "I believe my research mentioned 2 children." "Oh," Amanda jumped in quickly, "Emma's not involved in the business. She's actually helping in the kitchen tonight. Some people just aren't suited for corporate life." "How interesting," I replied, thinking of the empire I'd built while they underestimated me. Sometimes the most valuable assets are hidden in plain sight. As we took our seats, I noticed my empty place setting by the service entrance. A waiter was already clearing it away under Vanessa's direction. "Now then," my father began eagerly, "about the investment opportunity." "Yes," I cut in smoothly, opening my briefcase. "I have reviewed Stewart Technologies' financials in detail. They are concerning." The color drained from his face. "Concerning. Your company's debt ratio is problematic. Market share declining. 3 failed product launches in 2 years." I laid out papers containing information they thought was private. "Most concerning is the pending lawsuit from your Asian suppliers." "How did you?" Amanda sputtered. "Those issues are confidential." "In business, Miss Stewart, very little remains truly confidential." I allowed myself a small smile. "For instance, I know about the $2 million missing from your development budget. The money you used to buy your new house, I believe." Amanda went pale. My father quickly tried to intervene. "Mr. Chin, I assure you any irregularities can be explained." I finished. "Like how you explained firing your chief financial officer when he questioned your creative accounting. Or perhaps like how you explained to your shareholders that the company was thriving while secretly mortgaging everything to keep it afloat." The birthday celebration around us continued, guests oblivious to the drama unfolding at the main table. In the background, I could see kitchen staff, my former dinner companions, serving champagne. "What do you want?" my father finally asked, his arrogance deflating. I removed the real contracts from my briefcase. "Phoenix Ventures is prepared to make an investment. But we will be taking controlling interest. Current management will be replaced." "Phoenix Ventures?" Amanda looked confused. "But you're from Global Investments." "Global Investments is a subsidiary of Phoenix Ventures," I explained, enjoying their growing discomfort. "Just as Stewart Technologies will soon be." "You can't do this," my father protested weakly. "This company is my legacy." "A legacy built on lies, embezzlement, and familial arrogance," I countered. "Sign the contracts, Mr. Stewart, or I'll ensure every shareholder knows exactly how you've been running their company." As they read through the documents, their faces growing increasingly desperate, I caught a glimpse of movement in the kitchen. Through the swinging door, I could see staff clearing away my small table, the table that had been deemed appropriate for the true owner of their financial salvation. "We'll be ruined," Amanda whispered, finally grasping the magnitude of their situation. "Not ruined," I corrected her. "Just appropriately repositioned. Sometimes the kitchen table offers the best view of how things really work." As my father's birthday cake was being served, I delivered the final blow, not as Mr. Chin, but as the daughter they'd banished to the kitchen. In the private conference room adjacent to the main hall, I removed my disguise while my security team ensured we wouldn't be interrupted. "Mr. Chin," my father called, knocking on the door. "We need to discuss these terms." I opened the door, now dressed in my original Armani dress. "The terms aren't negotiable, Dad." The silence that followed was deafening. Amanda, who had been hovering behind our father, stumbled backward. Vanessa's champagne glass shattered on the floor. Emma. My father's voice cracked. What is this? Where's Mr. Chin? There never was a Mr. Chin, I said calmly, sitting at the conference table. Global Investments, Phoenix Ventures. They're all mine. Have been for years, while you were too busy being embarrassed by your kitchen-dwelling daughter to notice. Amanda found her voice first. This is impossible. You're nothing, you're nobody. Really? I pressed a button on my phone and the conference room's screens lit up with my empire's portfolio. Tech companies, real estate, financial institutions, billions in assets, all controlled by the daughter they deemed unworthy of a dinner table. While you were stealing from the company to buy your house, Amanda, I was building something legitimate. While you were faking financial reports, Dad, I was creating real value. Interesting how the daughter you dismissed as a failure now owns your company's debt. You can't do this to us, Vanessa protested. We're family. Family. I laughed softly. Was I family when you seated me in the kitchen? When you told the staff I wasn't important enough for the main table? When you made me serve water to your guests? My phone buzzed. Messages from my executive team confirming that news of Stewart Technologies' acquisition was already hitting the business wires. The company's stock would open tomorrow under new management. Your choices are simple, I continued. Sign the contracts now, or I'll call in all of Stewart Technologies' loans tomorrow. Either way, I own everything. The only question is whether you walk away with something or nothing. My father slumped into a chair, his birthday celebration forgotten. Why didn't you tell us? Would you have believed me? The daughter you called worthless? The one you told to know her place, which apparently was in the kitchen? Amanda was frantically scrolling through her phone, watching her world crumble in real time as business news reported Phoenix Ventures' latest acquisition. I've scheduled a press conference for tomorrow morning, I informed them. Stewart Technologies will be announcing a complete management restructure. Amanda, your resignation letter citing personal reasons is already drafted. Dad, you'll be retiring to spend time with family. Unless, of course, you'd prefer I announce the real reasons. You would destroy your own family's reputation? My father asked. You mean the family that destroyed my reputation for years? The one that took every opportunity to remind me I wasn't good enough. I stood straightening my dress. Consider this a lesson in judgment and karma. The contracts were signed within the hour. As my security team escorted them out, I returned to the main hall where guests were still celebrating, oblivious to the power shift that had just occurred. 1 month later, I sat in my office at Phoenix Tower, reviewing the changes at Stewart Technologies. The company was thriving under new management, its stock price doubled. Amanda had moved to a small apartment, her mansion seized as part of the fraud investigation. My father and Vanessa had retreated to a modest retirement community, their social status as diminished as their bank accounts. The kitchen staff from that birthday dinner? I hired them all for executive positions in my company's hospitality division. Turns out sitting at the kitchen table gives you an excellent perspective on who really deserves a seat at the main one.